Hey everyone, welcome to Mountain Meadow Homestead. My name is Melissa if you're new here, and today we're going to talk about seed starting and the equipment that you need to successfully start your seeds. The first thing I want to talk about, which is one of the most important, is lighting. Now, your seedlings need a lot of light that mimic the sun's light outside. There are two measurements that you want to look for in a light. You've got Kelvin and lumen. Now, Kelvin is the color of the light, and you want something that is going to mimic daylight. Lumens is how bright or intense the light is. You want to think blue sky, sunny day. That is the type of light you're going for. Now, typically you want anything in the range of 5,000 to 7,000 Kelvin and 2,000 to 3,000 or up in lumens. These lights that I have here, they are 6,500 Kelvin and 2,200 lumen. Now, I got these just off of Amazon. I think for a pack of 6 lights, it was around $50. Versus you can get a actual grow light. They can usually range anywhere from $50 to $200 and up for just a single light. So this is a really economical way to go. You can typically get these at your local hardware store or online like at Amazon. You just want to make sure that the Kelvin and lumen rating are within those ranges that are ideal for seed starting. Now, I would say the ideal combination would be 6,500 Kelvin and 2,500 lumen. The next important thing when it comes to your lights is having a way to raise and lower your lights. When you're first starting out planting your seeds, you want to be able to have the ability to have those lights as close to the soil surface as possible. And as that seedling grows taller and taller, you want to be able to raise that light to accommodate that plant growth. The other thing that you want to keep in mind when it comes to your lights is to have a timer. Now, I have a timer down here in my outlet to where the lights are attached to, and I keep that timer on for about 15 hours a day. You want that light running, or you want the light on for anywhere from 12 to 16 hours to kind of mimic how long the sun is out during the day in the summertime. This will give your seedlings the ideal amount of light to really put on some growth and be ready for you to put outside. The next thing that we're going to talk about is what type of pots or what do you grow your seedlings in? Now, there's a couple different options. When I first started out, I started with just some solo cups in my window. Now, my window didn't get enough sun and my seedlings got really leggy. And that's where being able to raise and lower your lights is really, really important. Now, I don't have any solo cups. I do have these clear plastic cups. I don't recommend using clear plastic. And the reason why is roots do not like light. So you definitely want to go with something that is darker or is not see-through. You can plant your seedlings in the plastic cups just like this, or you can use what is called the double cup method. So double cup method is essentially you would plant your seedling in this top cup, and then the bottom cup would work like a water vessel. Now, either way you go, you want to make sure that the cup that has your seedling in, you want to drill holes in the bottom for drainage. You never want your seedling to have too much moisture or it could cause rot and mold growth. So you want to drill holes in the bottom to allow that water to drain. Now with the double cup method, you would put water in this end and you might put an object like a rock or whatever you can find useful around your house in the bottom to help raise this top cup up. So that once the water is soaked in, it's not sitting in a pool of water, essentially. So that would be the double cup method. Another method is a paper pot. Now, if you have a lot of newspaper lying around or have access to newspaper, this is a great option. If you don't want to spend a bunch of money on a bunch of pots or go out and buy some solo cups, you can use paper pots with free newspaper that you can find around your community. Now, I'll show you how to do this here in just a bit. But I know a lot of people that use this and they really like it because they're recycling the newspaper. The next method I'm going to show you is called soil blocking. Now, soil blocking and the next one that I'm going to show you are my favorite because it allows for just great roots and great plant growth. So this is a soil blocker and I've got two sizes. I have one that is twice the size of this that accommodates putting these soil blocks in it to up pot it essentially. So a soil block, basically what you do is you compact your soil in here and you'll see these little nubs. These little nubs will put an indent in the soil once you release the soil block to where you put your seed in that indent and then you cover it up. So I really love soil blocking and it allows for air pruning of your roots and so that you have healthy root growth and you don't really have any of the binding of the roots that you can find in your typical pots where they start wrapping around. This will prevent that from happening. Now, another method that I use are these pots from Bootstrap Farmer. I buy these through M.I. Gardner's website. He sells a lot of the Bootstrap Farmer pots and trays. And these essentially do the same thing as a soil block because they have these slits in the side that allow for the air pruning. So I've got a couple different sizes that I'll show you. I've got this smaller size, and then this medium size, and then this bigger pot that I use for my tomatoes and tomatillos. Now, the other thing that they have are these holes in the bottom, which allow for doing bottom watering. And I love doing bottom watering because, again, you're promoting good root growth and long root growth within your seedlings. Now, whatever method I use, I always put it in these trays. These trays are sturdier than your just average trays that you can buy at your hardware store. They're not flimsy at all. I'll show you. They're really, really sturdy. I had your basic trays for a couple years and they would fall apart after 2 years. And when I had really heavy pots of seedlings in here, trying to take them outside to harden them off in the spring, it was just a disaster. So I really appreciate these really nice sturdy trays. You can get these with holes or without holes. Now, I like without holes because then I'll put my pots in here and I'll bottom water my pots instead of watering them on the top. And it just makes transporting really easy. Another item that I have here in my seed growing space is my fan. Now I have an oscillating fan that it'll blow side to side and I'll rotate it up and down every other day or so. What this does is it mimics the wind outside so that you have strong stems by the time you go to put your seedlings outside. I have had years where I haven't used this and I definitely see a difference. So I would say a fan is really important. It also helps reduce the amount of mold growth that can occur on the top of your soil. Something else I have done to mitigate that is using cinnamon on the top of my soil right after I sow my seed. So that is a useful trick because no matter what you do, you're going to have mold or fungus growth on the top of your soil just because you're in a moist environment and it's warm because you're trying to keep your seedlings warm. So it's going to happen. I'm going to go ahead and insert here the video of me making that paper pot just so you can see how I do it, and we'll go from there. All right, let's talk soil. So you want to pick a soil that is going to have quite a bit of nutrition for your seedlings. Now, I use a specific brand just because I've found that I really love it. It does really well, and it also has a nice consistency for when I do my soil blocks. I use the Vermont compost, and I'll show it to you. It's this stuff. It's Vermont compost and their Fort V formula. It's basically a compost, but it has, let's see, it's got some different manures in it and organic material, and then it's got like feather meal, blood meal, kelp meal, and bone char. So it has a lot of good stuff in it. I enjoy using this stuff. This will be my 3rd year using this, and it just does really well. You can find other soils that have nutrition in them that are just as good if you're not using the soil blocking. You can even make your own. The most important thing is making sure that it is a nutritional rich soil for your seedlings. Now, your seedlings, the seed itself will have enough nutrition for it to sprout and start growing, but after a few days after it's sprouted, it needs nutrition from the soil that it can uptake. Another item that you're going to want is a shelving unit to start your seeds on. Now, if you're not growing a ton of seeds, you don't necessarily need a shelving unit. If you have a table and you want to set up a grow light above your seedlings, that would work. We grow a lot of seeds here, and so I have a shelving unit that has 4 shelves on it that I start my seeds on. You can find these fairly inexpensive. I think I got this one at Target for like $100. If you have one just hanging out in your garage that's not really being used, that works great too. It doesn't have to be super fancy, just something to be able to set your trays on and connect your lights to. All right, well, I think that's all that I have for you guys today. Leave a comment down below and let us know if you have any further questions that I can answer or any experiences that you'd like to share with everyone else. If you liked this video, we would love it if you would like and share it, and subscribe if you haven't already, and stick around. We're going to be starting seeds here in a few days, and we'll show you how we do that and the whole process. So we love to have you come along with us, and we can learn together.